Good morning, I'm Bandula Jayasekara, standing in for Faraz Shaukat Ali. Faraz has returned, or he has landed today, and he will join with you from tomorrow. Our guest today is the Commander of the Navy, Vice Admiral Ravi Vijay Gunaratne. Good morning, Ravi.
Good morning, Bandula. Thank you very much for inviting.
Yeah, now, what we wanted to ask you first is that we are an island.
Yes.
But our people, especially the parents, they are scared of the water, and most of the people, they are scared of the water, and they are scared of swimming. And I don't know how many of our viewers are aware, when Ravi was a young sub-lieutenant, he swam for 18 hours and saved 4 lives. Let's start from there, Ravi. How come our people are scared of the water, and how come they cannot swim?
I think, Bandula, I think our children are not scared of water, but the parents who are discouraging them to go into the water. Even we know when we were young, when we go on a Saturday or Sunday, first thing that our parents our mother especially used to say is that you can go anywhere, come back home by 6 o'clock, because those days we didn't have mobile phone to contact us. Second thing is not to go and swim in the sea or in the waterways. So I think
that your parents didn't allow you to go to Mount or to Kinross.
Yes. Because of that, the children and the parents are reluctant to allow their children to be in the water. And as you very rightly said, we are an island nation, and we should produce more swimmers and better swimmers for the world than anybody else.
Why have we failed?
There are few things. The first one is what I told you earlier, that the reluctance of the parents to allow children to swim. And there is another myth within the parent, that if my child doesn't know how to swim, that he will not go and fall into trouble by trying to swim in the waterway. But I think it is wrong. Every child in Sri Lanka should learn swimming, especially for the parents. When your young kid start swimming, first thing is that he will not have asthma or any other thing, because his lungs will be very strong, and then he will have a very strong heart. So in their adult life, that it will be because we will have more and more healthy children coming up.
What do you think of the techniques, Ravi?
Yeah, there is a small problem with the technique also. Now, for example, if I say all the animals in the world, they swim keeping their head up or nose up. When a dog swims, it keeps its head up. Even a snake, always the head up. And when we go for swimming, the first thing that the swimming instructor says is, take a breath and put your head inside the water and send bubbles. So if the water goes and chokes the child, that he will be scared of water. So I think that the Navy has started a new technique with a lot of research that we have done, teaching people to swim keeping their head up in the breaststroke. And we are producing swimmers within 14 days of training. Of course, military training is different to normal training, but it is a possibility that we can teach more and more people, even to the adults, to swim with that type of stroke, keeping your head up and doing the breaststroke.
I have a feeling, I don't know if you'll agree or not, maybe you don't have to answer this, but I have a feeling that the Swimming Association, they have failed. But have you got any plans as the Navy to spearhead a campaign?
The thing is that the Swimming Association not failed. They have produced world-class swimmers during the recent past. But Swimming Association basically look at the competitive swimming. But what I am saying is not that. Learn to swim program. Now, a lot of countries, they have now, say during the holiday season, that we can teach, because the children are just playing around, we can gather them and start teaching. So the Navy has a program which that we want to start, where that we have a lot of retiring good PTIs, who are swimming instructors, and to have this program in every district in our country, and make some of the waterways preferable for swimming by making them safe. And you don't need to have a swimming pool. We have enough of waterways and sea around us. and have them safe, and teach children swimming, especially during their holidays. So we are going to start that program very soon.
That is where like including life saving, or does that include
Yes,
life saving?
life saving of course is very important, because if you see that in Sri Lanka 1,000 to 1,200 people die due to drowning. This is the second largest number after road traffic accidents. So it is a very large number compared to any other country. So we are teaching life saving to a lot of people, including the beach boys, who are always on the beach, who can help, especially in life saving. Which is important is more than saving the life, and then to give the first aid before the patient is taken to the hospital. So we are doing it, especially the Sri Lanka Coast Guard is taking the lead, and they have already 17 life-saving posts around country, and they have trained more than 2,000 lifesavers as at now.
Ravi, you founded the Special Boat Squadron, or the SBS.
Yes.
Now what's happening, what's the role of the SBS now? It's peacetime, what's the role of the SBS?
They say that in peace you are getting ready for the war. So especially special forces, either one, if there is a conflict, they are the first people to go. And we normally say SBS in a landing or in an amphibious landing, first people to go, they go before everybody, and last people to leave that place. So the training is going on. We have a lot of training with the other countries, and you don't have to have a war or a conflict to train your armed forces. For example, various countries, they have not fought recently, but they keep the training schedules and things going. Of course, there is a small problem with our training our special forces, because the simple thing is that it's difficult to motivate them.
Yeah.
Now, when you have a visible enemy, it is very easy to motivate them. But now we are looking at an enemy which is not visible. So as one of the generals said that when the Iron Curtain falls and when the Russia falls, he said that we have to make an enemy so that we will be ready to face the enemy. So but the training is going on, and we have lot of joint training with various countries.
What are the countries?
We do very close training sessions with the Indian Marcos, Marine Commandos, and US SEALs. Of course, our interaction with US SEALs go up to 1996, and then with the Pakistani Special Forces. And these are the three countries we basically mainly do, but we send our officers for various other countries also. For example, UK, we send for Royal Marine Special Boats Unit training, and we keep the training on.
Now you visited the United States recently. You met your counterparts from different countries, including the US counterpart. How is the cooperation between these countries, and especially the US?
Yeah, basically I went because we had the International Sea Power Symposium, which comes every other year. I was invited by the Chief of Naval Operations, or the Navy Commander of the US, Admiral Richardson, and so I met almost 80 Navy chiefs and Coast Guard chiefs during this conference, and we discussed various things, and they all want to know, and they are keen on learning from our experiences, because Sri Lanka Navy has proven that we have a Navy which looked out of the box, and we changed the maritime strategy, especially fighting with the suicide boats out at sea, and we brought this new concept of small boat operation and new tactics. So these are very keen by all these people, because they all understand that in the future in the world that we will not have countries fighting each other, but we have to fight with the non-state actors out at sea, especially the asymmetric naval warfare, as it says. So our experience is very important to them. They want to share with us, and they want to learn from us. At the same time, so we can have our own training. We already have some training courses going for the foreigners in Sri Lanka with the friendly countries. And my main idea of going to US and then to to the Pentagon and the State Department is that we are trying to get another ship for the Navy.
From the United States.
United States Navy or from the Coast Guard, because every year that they decommission few of the ships. So if
was
you
it
have,
successful? How was this?
I think it's almost like I would say 80% that we have to work, we have to lobby and we have to work hard. But I'm sure that we will able to get a ship next year.
How is the defense cooperation, or the, shall we say not defense, the Navy to Navy, the cooperation with the United States?
Navy to Navy cooperation is very close because the US also have realized that the importance of the Indian Ocean. And again, our relationship with India also very important because we are very close with India. So their main interest is that. And again, the Colombo harbour is very important to us because for them, because for refueling and other purposes when their ships are moving in. You can see by the number of foreign vessels, foreign war ships coming into Colombo harbour, how important is the Colombo now, especially in the Indian Ocean.
Now we will take a short break and we'll be back with you in a moment. Welcome back to Newsline. Our guest today is the Commander of the Navy, Vice Admiral Ravi Vijay Gunaratne. Ravi, we are discussing about the defense cooperation between the United States and Sri Lanka, which you say is very good.
Yes.
How about with Australia? Because this is very important. The boats have stopped. There was a huge campaign in Australia and these boats went, and suddenly the boats have stopped.
Yes, actually the credit should go to the both countries because we work very closely, the Sri Lanka Navy, Sri Lanka Coast Guard and the Australian Border Protection Command. And now that about 3 years back there were a large number of boats leaving our country, we worked together. We had starting having intelligence shared, and our joint effort has given away that we were able to stop the boats leaving from our shores to Australia. So the Australian government is very happy on the effort that we have taken. In fact, they have gifted us with 2 Bay-class patrol vessels some time back, acknowledging the good work that the Sri Lanka Navy has done. So I should thank especially the officers and men who are going out to sea and protecting our borders, and again our intelligence officers and sailors working on land, stopping these boats and people gathering and putting them out to the sea. This has been a case study for most of the countries now. As you know that in Europe there is a big problem, especially in the Mediterranean Sea, that migrants, large numbers crossing and dying, some thousands are died and perish out at sea. So this has proven that 2 countries, 2 friendly countries working together, that you can stop anything illegal.
And I also noticed, Ravi, that there's more of our Navy personnel going for training in Australia. It has increased due to this issue. How is the training there? Now, it's not only to Pakistan or to India or US, but there's so many.
Yeah, we are getting more, and because the Australian government has realized that the effort that we have put, so they want to help us. We have Navy to Navy talks, and we have a defense talks within. So we have more and more officers and sailors going to Australia for training, and Australians have very good training facilities, Australian Navy and the Australian Border Protection Command, and it has helped us immensely.
And another thing which I noticed, I mean, we did a program, the Sinhala as well as the English, your whale watching, which has been a success story, and which you all are doing that, with example, you all are leading by example. Could you tell our viewers more on that, your operation there? Because I've noticed that, since we went and did a special program, that you protect the whales. I mean, you take people, but you protect the whales. Could you tell us more about it?
Yeah, it's very important that for us to protect these mammals. The simple reason is that Sri Lanka is the place where that you can see the largest mammal in the water, that is the blue whale, and the largest mammal on land, that is the elephant, within maybe about 30 kilometers distance. So it is a thing that we have to protect. And again, especially the whales are getting close to our country, and we should not disturb them in their natural habitat, because they get excited for even for the smallest thing, and if they are being disturbed, they will not come close to the shore. And again, the Sri Lanka is very fortunate because of the position in the Indian Ocean, that lot of feeding of the whales done closer to our shore.
Do you provide a special training for these officers and men?
Yes, of course, we do special training. As you know that one of the leading whale watching or the whale conservist, that is Mr. Howard Martinstein, is helping us. At the same time, the ship which we are deploying basically for our naval families and the military families to go and watch whale watching. At the same time, we use that platform as a platform to ensure that others follow the rules. So we train, especially our Coast Guard train the people, the whale watching boats which are leaving from the Mirissa harbour, and they have been trained, they have been told how to approach to the whale, because when the whale is about, say, 100 meters away, you should shut your engines and you should just drift and not to chase the whale.
Now, you were talking of Howard Martinstein. He was on our program twice, the single and the English program. Any memories of your old friend Howard's brother Cedric?
Yeah, of course, Cedric and myself, we started the Special Boat Squadron long time back, and I would say one of the bravest officers I have come across, and his knowledge was very vast. In fact, that the arrow boats that we are using now by the SBS was his production. Actually, it's his design, and we were thinking now to name them with Cedric, because it's the Cedric's design. And but he took over the Special Boat Squadron from me, because when I went abroad for a training, and he died missing in action.
And I'm sure if you do that, the family will be very pleased,
Of course, we have very close interaction with his family, and whenever the Special Boat Squadron have any function, we are always invited to Mrs. Martinstein, especially to his son, to come and visit. So we will do that.
I think Howard, if you are watching, this is news for you. I'm sure you'll be pleased, because he has dedicated his book also to Cedric. Ravi, now let's talk of Tamil Nadu, South India. They are very quiet these days. Why? How come? Navy is also quiet, or what's happening there?
Actually, that we had some work during last 6 months that to stop these Indian trawlers crossing the border and coming into our waters. That is both ways. We had the Indian Coast Guard Director General coming here, and we were discussing it. At the same time, that there is an effort from the Tamil Nadu government also to stop this, because if you started a trawler for deep sea fishing, if you convert your trawler into deep sea fishing, the government is giving a grant. So slowly this bottom trawling will go away, and this deep sea fishing will be used by the Tamil Nadu government. The central government of India is very much aware that the problem that our two countries have. If there is any return between India and Sri Lanka, these are the one which can escalate into a greater heights. So we are working very closely with the central government and with the Coast Guard and the Indian Navy.
So now, Ravi, our own Sri Lankan brothers, the fishermen, they suffered a lot during the LTT. Now, when the problem came, how are you protecting them? Because they need to make a livelihood after dawn of peace. Are you protecting? Is the Navy protecting?
Yeah, we do our best, and we stop it, and you can see that there is a trend of the frequency of the Indian trawlers crossing has come down largely, and we can come to some sort of solution to this. I am sure that we can do it. And the northern fishermen, of course, we give them the maximum support, the assistance, especially in the fishermen who are in the island sector, and they are getting their catch now. And again, we have to protect our environment in that area and protect our coral reefs and other things, so that breeding grounds will be there, and protect the mangrove forest, where that the breeding ground for the fish and the shellfish. So these things are done by the Navy.
And you have an excellent relationship with the fishermen all around.
Oh, of course, because we should not forget, especially during the conflict time, the southern fishermen has helped us a lot, especially the multi-day fishing trawlers which are going into the Indian Ocean. We had, you may not know that we have 3,200, boats in the Indian Ocean. We had 3,200 eyes looking for the LTT boats.
Oh, so they were your eyes and
Yes.
spies. With that, Ravi, let's go for a short break and we'll be back with you in a moment. Welcome back to Newsline. Our guest today is the Commander of the Navy, Vice Admiral Ravi Wijegunaratne. Ravi, now you earlier said that Navy is doing a silent service. But these days we see you're more visible. I mean, what made you join our channel, our network to help Gammadda?
Of course, our help to the Gammadda is basically on making the water purification plant. So we say reverse osmosis plant, RO plants. Because we know that North Central province and other provinces that we have a very big problem of this acute kidney disease, which is spreading very vastly, especially in our farmlands in North Central province, where that they are the breadbasket or the rice fields of Sri Lanka. So if these people, these farmers who are working in these places, if they get sick, that means our agriculture will be on decline. So we thought that we should getting to this Gammadda and help by giving the reverse osmosis plants, RO plants. The technology of the reverse osmosis or RO is not a new thing to the Navy, because we use these RO plants out at sea to take this seawater, convert into the fresh water when we require, especially our big ships out at sea. So we are experts in that technology. So we started indigenous building of these RO plants, which are very cheap compared to the plants that we buy from outside, from various other countries. So we are helping in that way, and we are very glad that we were able to give these plants, and a lot of people are drinking, and using this water for cooking and drinking, especially in the schools.
What do your officers and sailors say? How do the villagers respond to you? I think that's important to know.
Yeah, they are very, very happy. The simple reason is we started this with a very humble way. Before Gammadda came in, first we started it with, every officer and sailor in the Navy, they contribute 75 rupees from their pay every month. That goes to a fund called NSR, a Naval Social Responsibility Fund. From that, we started building this plant. And then, of course, there is a presidential task force under President Maithripala Sirisena, who is providing funds for us now for this project. And then again, there are a lot of well-wishers. Now the money is pouring in. Now our problem is that we are finding very difficult to produce at the rate that the plants are being requested. Now we have a production line under the guidance of the Secretary Defence now, which is built at Valisara, where that we are building our indigenous boats for sale, and we are building these plants by our R&D people. And our motto is like, who became the saint some time back, few months back, Mother Teresa, or Saint Teresa of Calcutta. What she said that we can't do great things, but we can do small things with great love. So we are doing this with great love for our people, and there's a lot of commitment by my officers and men to ensure that our task is to provide this type of plant to every village in our country, and every school in our country, every temple in our country where this kidney problem is there. Of course, now that we are going to get a lot of money from the Health Ministry also, Health Minister has agreed to give us funds to have more plants. So the money is not an issue, and buying the things is not an issue, with the production line now which is going on.
Ravi, you're leading a peacetime Navy. I mean, you served the Navy for so many years, but you're leading a peacetime Navy. What else are you doing for the people? This is one big project you are doing. What else?
Yeah, apart from that, one of the important things that we do is that, especially that most of the officers and men who are in the Navy, they are retiring, especially our men, they retire after 22 years of service. So if you join at 20 or 18, 40, 42, you are retiring from the service. That's the time that you really require, real experts, but you require a lot of money because your children are growing up and they are educating and you require money. But at that time they are retiring. So we have to look at what they will do after their retirement, the second job that they are. So we are training them on that. That is very important so that they will continue earning their retirement or the pension as well as another job. So we have some hotels and restaurants which we run and we train people on this subject, and then we look after the people, especially in our military. When we done a survey, especially myself and my wife, when we became the commanders, commander and she and myself, we had a survey and we found almost 80% of our sailors have taken loans. So now they are finding difficult to pay this back. So we started a small project where that we give 500,000 rupees interest-free loan to these sailors. So then first thing that they can settle whatever the loan that they have taken from the bank, and then save the rest of their money for their retirement.
My final question to you, Ravi, is how is the cooperation between the three forces and the police?
Of course, we have excellent cooperation. Our working together, and we are very fortunate that all three services working very closely. And Army, of course, Navy is a small unit. Army and the police is supporting us. You can see that lot of effort that we are doing, especially
during disaster relief. You do a great job during
disaster relief, and then stopping these drugs coming into our country. That all three forces join together and police do a great job.
Thank you very much, Ravi, for joining us, and it was a pleasure to have you, and we wish you and the Navy the very best in times to come. And Faraz Shaukat Ali will be back tomorrow with his usual program, The Newsline. Have a nice day.